ナードホールズ、ケイレブとウィル、ドラゴンボールを視聴。
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Holes Dragon Ball Rewatch. So tonight, crazy, we are finishing Saga 3, wrapping up the Red Ribbon Army saga. So it seems like we didn't start this that long ago, and we're already wrapping up part 3. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. I know. It's like it's gone by fast, but it's also like it also feels like we've been, kind of getting through it.
Yeah.
So it's a weird mixture.
Yeah, so that's 6 episodes altogether, right? Because it's 2 apiece.
Yeah.
And so for us is 6 months. So that's half a year.
Yeah, half a year.
Wow. Half a year we've been talking about Dragon Balls.
Dragon Balls.
That's pretty crazy. Very crazy. Okay, so tonight we are going to do a wrap up the topic of these episodes that we watched, and then Will's going to be doing his season 3 conclusion questions, so that'll be fun to stay tuned for. So we are discussing episode 37 to 45. So last time we left off, Goku was doing his assault on Muscle Tower. He just fought Major Metallotron.
Yeah.
So the first episode we watched is Ninja Murasaki is coming.
That's right.
So, what are your thoughts about the whole tower?
I liked everything about what the tower represented. I liked the whole muscle tower, you gotta it's like the thing. What was the thing you talked about in one of our other podcasts? Is it
Yeah,
Riot or something? It's that movie where he climbs the tower, basically.
there's a few movies. Yeah.
So,
Bruce Lee
yeah,
very famously has that movie where he fights like Chuck Norris and
yeah,
what's his name? Yeah. And he has to fight every boss on each floor all the way up to the top guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I like that aspect of it, and I like that each one was honestly all over the place. You know what I mean? You would think
Yeah.
some of them would have been lower and higher than each other,
Right.
because it also was kind of weird for me. It was also kind of weird for it to be you had the what's his name, Major Metallotron there,
Yeah.
Metallotron, and then you had Android number 8, and I get that they're they are different and
Mhm.
in a lot of ways, but it just it felt strange to have a giant robot guy, which was clearly the Terminator,
Yeah.
to
And then
have
a
2 levels
Frankenstein.
up a Frankenstein, and I was like, oh, that's hefty.
Well, my question is, I don't think so. Goku ends up calling him Ader,
Right,
which is pretty funny.
which is funny, yeah.
So I don't think he has his own floor. I think he's like a pet project of Murasaki. I think he's in
That's
Murasaki's
true.
area.
He did, yeah. He was in his actual area. He was just in the cage.
Yeah. So that's part of his thing, I guess.
That's
I
true.
I,
That's a good point.
I like how floor number 1 is very much just a normal floor, but then Murasaki's floor is all outdoors and trees and
Yeah,
ponds and stuff. I think that's cool.
yeah.
So what was floor 3? Oh, the maze. The maze is 3.
Yeah.
And then when they fall through the trapdoor, that's floor 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they kind of skip around a little bit. It's kind of weird
They jump
because
around a little bit, yeah.
I don't remember what's on 4. They do the maze thing, and
Yeah, I think he doesn't he I think he just kind of comes in at the middle. I think he just like breaks through the wall.
oh yeah, he
Excuse
does
me.
break through the wall, doesn't he? Yeah.
And he like comes in and he's just on the floor that happens to have the
So
giant
yeah,
the guy, and then he works to
so
the
yeah,
next level.
yeah. So it's probably like 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
Because like top of the tower is 6.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like do you like how they were like 8-bit like game things on the computer when he was
Oh,
like trying to shut the door.
yeah. Yeah. The thing that like the funny thing was with the fight with Murasaki was like I I I liked it a lot, but I feel like since that fight, like everything I don't know, I feel like it's gonna ruin a lot of fights going forward.
Yeah.
So the easiest thing to say, I know it's like jumping ahead a little bit, but it's like his fight with Murasaki and then like later the his brothers or whatever.
Mm,
It was just all this like dialogue about how fast he is, how good he is, how all these things, and then he was fighting like the threat of Husky seems so
yeah. Like nothing.
like nothing. Yeah. And I was happy that they ended up doing like the Yamcha approach of it
Yeah.
because it just seemed like, well, if she literally goes up against Goku, like it doesn't matter. And there was a scene specifically where she feigns injury or getting like mugged,
Mhm.
and the guy and the pig, like the boar guy, run away, right?
Yeah.
And Goku chases, and then he's like, "Where did they go?" And I was just thinking, you take the why I bring it up at this point is like you take the Murasaki thing and this, and it's like
Mm.
he's chasing Murasaki like all the way, and he's running faster and faster, and he's going
Yeah.
super fast. It's like it makes you feel like Goku would never get away from anybody. Like nobody could ever like
Mhm.
outrun him, type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I know it's like a Saturday morning cartoon, but it's just like it was one of those things that they. I think the reason why I have like I feel like that is because they do stuff that I'm like, oh, whatever, and then all of a sudden they surprise me. I'm like, oh, like they're actually doing this thing. Perfect example. They everything happens with is his name General White, the guy at the top.
Yeah.
So everything happens. They come out. They're like, yay, and him and the village chief and Ader and Goku, and they're all happy. And then Ader's like, well, I have to do this last thing. I have to destroy Muscle Tower. So they destroy it. And then I was like, yeah, but like the Murasaki guys weren't dead. So you're like, you're killing these guys. And it was like a thing where, he's very anti like violence and death. And
Mm.
I was like, that's a little rough. But then cut to it shows one of the Murasakis like in the rubble. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like this kind of like, whatever, who cares? Like blow the building up because it's a cartoon. It was like, oh no, like those guys are still in the building. They're still like functioning. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah. 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 It's one of those things too. Is like as soon as he hurt Goku, he was like over the whole like passive thing.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like when Goku like knows he's in a fight, he's a lot
True.
different too, like he's really trying to like match speed and agility and stuff, but when he's just trying to help somebody on the street thing, that is kind of
Oh,
funny that
right.
like they ran away and they like just turned the corner and Goku's like, "Oh, I don't no idea where they went." It's like
Right.
they're around the corner.
Right, because he's so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if that's why like Toriyami um like in the future, like in Dragon Ball Z, that's why he made like enemies like very much stronger than
I would,
like the main characters
I
because
could totally, yeah,
it becomes this thing where like after Goku trains with Roshi, he basically becomes like indestructible. You know what I mean?
right. Which
And
is
like,
why, it's like it's like the Superman problem where it's like if you don't make the villains either dastardly, like they're like Superman has to think like and have evil thoughts in order to understand this bad guy, or the bad guy just happens to be on par with his strength.
yeah,
It's like, oh, he's against this bank robber, and you're just like, okay, like, well, like
yeah,
unless comedy's involved, you kind of get kind of bored with it.
hmm
So I can understand why he eventually would be like, you're gonna now he's gonna fight like these really, really hefty, like, guys are gonna take him a minute to beat up. Because honestly, the muscle tower stuff is like interesting, like how he had to combat it, especially the Boo Booyan, whatever his name was.
Oh yeah,
I really enjoyed that. He punches him, and then he's like, how well, if the punch doesn't work, how about a kick? And then he kicks him, and that doesn't work. And
yeah,
then he does the Kamea wave, and it's like that doesn't work. And I really enjoyed that it was like a systematic, you know.
yeah. You can see they kind of start throwing him like opponents that you can't just punch. You know, like you have
Right,
to
right,
use a little bit of common sense, and but that's also
yeah.
that's one of Goku's biggest weaknesses.
True. My
uh,
name's not Tickets. I'm Goku. Nice to meet you. That made me laugh.
oh man. There's some funny stuff in this part of this. Like, so the cop, for instance, is was made
Yeah,
me laugh like out loud a few times, and he's like
he's like
very much like Canadian.
it's like Canadian upper, like Minnesotan, right? Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. And then you had he was like a wolf or something. He was like a clearly like a really, really New York accent wolf,
Oh,
right?
the cab driver.
The cab driver is like, I forget what he said to him. He said something to him like, if you don't got the cash, then you're doing something. Whatever he says to him, he said something like rhymed or yeah, I forget what he said. Yeah.
There's a line from Goku where he's talking to that lady on the street with like her stroller, and he's
Oh
like, "Yeah, I'm
yeah.
looking for Bulma," and she's like, "Bulma," and he's like, "Yeah, Bulma."
Yep. Yeah. Yep. He's like, oh yeah, yep.
Yep, Bulma.
And
Very
she's like,
funny.
I don't know who that is. And he says, well, how do you not like you're in the same city? Like, how do you not
Mhm.
know who she is?
Yeah, he's got no
No idea.
grasp of like how big like a city is. I like seeing
Yeah.
him. I like seeing him kind of experience like humanity type like stuff like that.
Yeah.
He
It
discovers
was
like money, like he needs money. He doesn't know what money is, and
yeah,
he beats up that boxer guy. I love that.
I liked all the like I liked West City for the sake of like went from feeling like very tribal and like village and like very rural type of living to like
Hmm.
a huge functioning city.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I liked a lot of the muscle tower stuff. I liked how it came across. It super. I mean, because you knew what was going to happen. It super confused me. I was like Goku. So Murasaki, he's like, yeah, and he honestly it was like a Dragon Ball Z thing. He was like, yeah, and it was like all that wispy
yeah.
purple like energy. And then
Like he
he's
was
like,
actually transforming.
yeah, and I was like, oh, and then the guys come out, and I was like, oh, okay, he's doing like a thing that Goku can do. It's just more,
Yeah,
it's more like tangible. And I was like, okay. But then it was like, no, they seem like real people. And then Goku was like, are they real people? And I was like, yeah, are they real people? Yeah. It took me a bit to
Yeah.
understand that they were like essentially his like twin brothers or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Especially when they started like talking and communicating to each other. He's like,
yes.
they can talk
Oh,
to each
did you laugh at that part? That the like when the third brother talks or the fourth brother,
other.
because he's like, I am whatever, blah, and he goes like, and me too. Oh, he was like, and he clears his throat and like, I think he gave like he had like a Midwest accent, and he changes his voice. I don't know if I don't know if I can find it, but do you remember what I'm talking
I
about?
do remember that, yeah.
That made me laugh a
He
lot.
had a
It was,
very he has a very like stereotypical like white person doing an Asian
oh
accent, doesn't he?
wow, yeah, yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And that's fine. That makes me laugh, you know. I really enjoy when accents in the show are like so like all over the place. Like you're saying, West
Yeah,
City, like the cab drivers from Brooklyn, the
right,
police officers from like Nova Scotia. Like
right,
what?
right. Like, where is this place?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
place is crazy.
trying to
Yeah,
think. It
yeah, right.
goes through.
The other village is like Middle Eastern that he goes to.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, even like the people in the village he's trying to like protect, they're kind of like they don't have like
Oh,
Russian accents, but they're kind of
oh
like
yeah, they kind
they
of are
definitely
Russian.
act
Yeah,
like Northern European, like North,
yeah.
like I should say Northeastern European. Like they act very like Ukrainian and like Bosnian and
Well,
like their clothing and like how
yeah,
they
the clothing specifically is very much like that, you know. And General White kind of
right.
went back and forth between being
Yeah.
like Russian and not Russian. Like his accent, you know, it kind of was
Not
like all
Russian.
over the place.
So so I don't know if it was me, the subtitles, or both. But when we first were introduced to the girl, I'll just say the girl for right now. When we were introduced to her, I thought her name was Snow,
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sno.
Yeah, I did
But
too.
and then when the thing went on, all of a sudden it was like her name is Suno,
Suno, yeah.
and I was like, it's like did they change? I didn't go back. I was like, did they change it or did I mishear it? So,
No, I think when she first introduces herself to Goku, she says, "My name is Snow," like quickly.
oh,
And you're like,
got it.
okay. But now that everybody else is pronouncing it, they're pronouncing it Snuo.
Yeah.
Uh, let me see. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm. Yeah. Yeah, what is it? Suno?
It's like I think it's Suno is how they spell it on the thing.
The girl called, yeah, because even this, episode 35, it says the girl called Snow takes Goku back to her house to recover.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's go to bum 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 bum.
Like the secret of Dr.
The
Flap would
secret of
be.
Dr. Flaps is the village is safe again after Snow's parents wonder where the Dragon Ball was. So that's really funny. So either Wikipedia's got this wrong,
Yeah.
or her voice actor calls herself Snow, but then all the other voice actors call her Suno to differentiate between like all the other Snow references they make. I don't know. That's
So
funny.
Dragon Ball Wiki has her under Suno. She also goes
Interesting.
by Snow.
It's not confusing. That's really funny.
Oh, I think because Suno is
Like her full name,
no, I think Suno is how to say
Snow in
uh
Japan. Yeah.
Japanese, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong.
That's probably what they call her in the Japanese version for sure. That's funny. It's better than snow. I mean, it's the same
Well,
thing,
yeah,
but
I thought it was kind of funny when it was like, oh, blah blah
mhm,
blah, snow, and I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah,
yeah.
you're a girl in the snow called Snow. I get it. It'd be like if you landed in
Hmm.
the jungle, my name's Leaf or something. You'd be like, okay,
But that's the theme of the show, though.
true.
Remember, I told you Goku is like, Kakarot is his real name. He's a carrot. Vegeta is a vegetable. It's all like Japanese like names for stuff. What was
That's
the other
true.
one? Bouillon, Bouillon cubes, like Bouillon. There was another one that we just came across too that
Yeah,
was
there
like
was
very
another one.
much.
Yeah,
What was like a spice or
oolong,
something? Well,
oolong,
oolong, yeah, oolong
and
tea, and
Yamcha, and I think Bulma. Right? They're
I think,
all.
yeah, yeah, but there was another one in this section, and I just can't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. How did the my favorite part of the whole Murasaki thing is when he pours the hot tea water down the
All
bamboo.
down this. That was
Oh,
good.
it's so funny.
The other thing that
Man, that
made
was
me
good.
laugh too was I don't remember what happens to his boots, but his Goku has to take off his boots. I forget what happens,
Oh.
and he runs back to like the toilet
Oh, he
room,
steps
and
on the ninja stars that he throws.
oh yes, 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 and he runs back to the toilet area, and he gets the like sandal things, and then he's running after. That made me laugh.
Yeah, he
And he was like,
remembered that
"Haha,
those like
I've done it,"
wooden
and then he was
shoes.
like, "Yeah,
Yeah, because the first time he goes in the outhouse, he's like, I hope he's not in here. Because
yeah, yeah,
he's hiding. Oh man.
yeah."
I also love too how like right off the bat, like Murasaki, he's like jumping through all the trees and showing how like fat, and then Goku just is like, yeah, and throws the rock and beans him in the head. The rock, like he's showing off how
Yeah,
fast he
that
is, and
was
and the Goku shows off by like, yeah, I can hit you in the head with a rock from here. Like you're not that. Ah,
yeah.
man, that was funny.
It was kind of like the walnut later, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that like whole thing.
I didn't get it
She like
either.
throws the walnut at him and he's grabs it out of
And
midair.
he's like, a walnut.
I know, and then she's like, "Oh, this is gonna be easier than I thought." It's like he just sensed that there was a walnut coming at his head. Like, what?
I feel like okay. I feel like the Husky thing
Yeah,
was so
husky.
like unnecessary.
Yeah, right.
She reminded me of Launch, but no Launch. We don't get Launch, right?
It was this same drawing as launch. Yeah,
Pretty much. I didn't get the one. I got like the one long pant leg. Everything else was short.
yeah.
And
It's
I
a
was
weird
like,
character design.
what is this? And then he ends up defeating her by tickling her. And I was just like,
Yeah, but don't
what
you
it
love that stuff though?
I do like
she's
it. It's
she's this big bad spy, she's this
right,
thief, like master thief. It's basically like Catwoman, and
right.
she's defeated by this child on a cloud and he tickles her to death basically. Like that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The whole like the whole like fortune teller part of the episode, like that could all be script. Like that was so
Yeah, I just skipped it. I was like, that's okay. I'm not gonna I don't know what they're gonna do with this. I just skipped it. But yeah.
oh you missed a pretty good part. It was like
Oh,
they
okay.
keep doing these like double entendre, like, oh, Goku,
Oh,
I think she's talking
okay.
about your balls, your dragon balls. And he's like, oh,
I
yeah,
see.
it's exactly what you pictured it being.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because she already knew enough about him to use the point where she's like,
Right.
oh, I'm gonna like tell him all the stuff that he's done that I know he's done, and be like, oh, I think you have
When I
two important things on you, like that, and like he would basically hand her the dragon balls.
Yeah, I figured when I came back and Yamcha and him were talking and laughing about balls, I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
figured
You got it. Yeah.
I got it, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, Goku,
But
I think she meant the dragon.
right, right. I
Oh
think
god.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked a lot of it. I liked the General White thing at the end where he's
Mm.
holding him and holding him hostage, and
You know what
I
is
like.
funny is like when you see like General Red in that big like TV room, and he's like, "Oh, the
Oh yeah.
we pinpointed these Dragon Balls here in West City," and it's like he's got like the two little like blinking
Mhm.
things, but it's this huge. It's like the map is as big as his wall,
Right.
and I'm like, yeah, it's just these two in West City. It's like, what? Like, why aren't there other like pinpoints on that map?
Like markers, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
funny.
The thing the thing honestly I was really surprised with, but it kind of seems to be the running gag is like they don't they like really set up these characters. Not General White, but
Mm.
like General Silver and like Hasky
Hmm.
and kind of the bullion guy a little bit. But then it's like they're just defeated in like one go kind of thing. It's interesting. Because
Yeah,
like
they spend a
General
lot of
Silver
time like
was,
explaining.
yeah, they do all this
Yeah,
backstory and they give you like look how mean he is to the guys General Silver is and all stuff. And then he just kicks him in the gut and it's like, see you later. Like, okay. Like,
it is
it's
funny like
interesting.
introducing a character that well, right? Just to like punch him once.
Right.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty funny. I just like how so far the Red Ribbon Army they keep experiencing that like this Goku kid keeps like destroying all of their stuff.
right, right.
And they're like, "Oh, well, he'll be no match for this guy." It's like
Right.
I think he's proven, right? Like he took out Silver. He literally
Yeah,
destroyed the entire tower. And you're like,
right.
nobody makes it past floor 2 at the very least. So he destroyed the whole tower. He beat
Yeah.
Hosky, and they're still going to be like, hmm, no, we can
More.
definitely we'll definitely
Yeah, I don't
beat your
know.
two precious robot, your two androids that you love so much. Gone.
Yeah. I did like though that the Frankenstein monster android was like passive and like
Yeah, I like that
just
too.
kind of like I don't really want to hear anybody. I don't want to
Yeah,
hurt him.
I really like the part too when he's like, we can just talk about this like men. We don't need to fight about it.
Yeah.
And
So the
then
thing
the
I want to know. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
no, I was just saying the chief, the village chief there.
Mm.
He was a funny character too. He's like, I can't
Oh yeah.
believe my village is. Oh, is that Coco? I love Coco. But then even at the end, he's like, "Go, don't listen to him,
Yeah.
Goku. Just kill him, rip his guts." And Goku's like, "Oh, he
Oh
doesn't
wow.
care to
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
He doesn't care to die, so I don't care about killing." He's like, "Well, actually, I don't know, I wouldn't mind getting back to my village." What? He really flipped pretty quick.
The yeah, I couldn't yeah. I couldn't tell at first if he was going to be a good guy or a bad guy.
Hmm.
If if the village chief was going to end up being like a part of it or not. I thought kind
Oh,
of that's where they were
yeah.
going to
Were you
like
um were you as surprised as me when Snow's father showed up?
yes.
Because I thought he was like forced labor from Red Ribbon Army, like way far away.
Yes. Yes. I also thought he was showing up again as Dr. Brief.
Oh yeah.
For a brief second I was like isn't this like the exact same like animation of the same guy?
Yeah. No.
No. Yeah.
Bulma's dad changes a lot in Z too. Like, look,
I can
he
imagine.
obviously he's older, but
So the thing I want to ask you, but I don't want to know the answer to, is I'm curious to know if Snow and like Android 8 and all those people like ever come back again. You know what I mean? Because like, and I think Android 8 is really interesting, and I think Suno or Snow or whatever is interesting.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for you letting the cat out of the bag about
Oh.
Chi Chi, I would have thought the same thing about Chi Chi. So it's
Mm.
like I'm curious to see if
As far
some
as
of
what,
these
like
people
if she returns?
like she shows up again in the series, or if like she's
Oh.
in Dragon Ball Z or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
because
Yeah.
like
No.
because I expect like Yamcha and like I was really happy when Yamcha and Oolong and Puar showed back up in like Bulma, because like every time the show starts, it's like, it's a fantastic journey, right? And it's
Yeah.
them, it's all of them, and then it's like then you watch the episode, it's like it's just Goku, which I'm fine with it. Like I don't hate that it's Goku. It's just
Yeah.
I actually like Yamcha a lot, even though he's like an annoying, stupid guy. I like his character.
No, he's definitely good in this. Yeah, he's always been a good character. He just gets kind of outplayed a
Yeah,
lot, is all.
he's very samey, like every episode.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he can't. He's really good at doing stuff, but he can't because the lady or so. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah.
I kind of had forgotten too, like how annoying Bulma is in her early
Oh.
like ages too, you know.
Yeah, I
You
tell
know,
you
because
that shrinking thing was. I was like,
yeah.
oh, what is happening here?
Yeah,
That
what
was
are
real
where are they
funny. She
going
was
with
just like,
this?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I liked it.
It was like, and
I was like, well, that's
she,
a smart way to get her on the Nimbus.
yeah, yeah. You like how she has like learned nothing. She's like, oh, I'm pure of heart now. Just so happen to be like super beautiful and awesome. Like, no, I don't think you understood the concept, Bulma. Yeah,
Nope.
but yeah, that was funny. Yeah, the whole thing, and then like going to like she basically tells Goku like, oh, you only got two so far. I was like, he's only been out for like a month.
Yeah.
She had like
Right.
none when
Right.
she met Goku, and she had been searching for like years. So she's like, "No, I'm coming
Yeah.
with you now, and we're gonna find these things a lot faster." And then like immediately, like, "Oh, let's go to this amusement park."
Yeah. I was like, why?
Oh, so you're not in a rush
Yeah.
anymore. That's fine.
That was one of the things that what we talked about last time, was like evidently it's been a year because the Dragon Balls aren't stones, and then also with the eye catch being like mid season, even for the Funimation thing,
Mm,
like you know what I mean. Like when we started the episode one of season two on the app, you like it still was the Oolong Umbrella
yeah.
Dragon Ball thing, and then it was like a few. I mean, I don't know how many episodes were in
Doesn't
that
it,
like stretch. It's like we're in like 6 or 7 of them, and then it changes. And I was like,
the
huh.
first
And I like
time
it.
I noticed it
I think it's
was
cool.
the first time I noticed it was 44, episode 44. But
Right when he gets to the city, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's him and Roshi.
yeah.
So that's like
Dun
two
dun dun
episodes
dun.
before the end of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that eye catch.
Now,
And you know what else is
what
funny too
about?
about the eye catch specifically is that in the first eye catch with Oolong twirling the umbrella, I think this is the first time in the show
Yeah,
that you've seen Oolong wearing that same clothes that he wears in the eye catch. That like
that's true, and that's like,
general.
yeah, it's like a Chinese like general outfit. Yeah.
It's
The
very
thing that I was thinking was, shouldn't this be reversed? Shouldn't
yeah.
the first eye catch have been him and Roshi, and then this should have been alive? Like, because it's like I
I don't
don't
know.
like they would show him and it would be a cut and it'd be him and Oolong, and you're like, Oolong hasn't been in an episode for like the last 50 episodes.
Well, even the first season, you don't even meet Oolong until like episode 10 or 12 or whatever it is.
Right, right. And it's like you meet Roshi by like episode 2 or 3, I think, right?
You know?
So
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it's just
first eye
funny.
catch should have been like Bulma and Goku, since it's like episode 1, they meet each other.
Right, right, exactly.
But like you say, the intro is all these characters like the first season and Goku
Yeah.
doing stuff, but it's like no idea what's going on in the show.
Right, right. Yeah. I liked it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
If it felt I thought it was gonna get slow right when um right when he goes up to free the village chief. Like when that episode starts and they got to the maze, I was like, oh boy, how many episodes are we gonna be in this muscle tower thing? Because like it
Mm-hmm.
just felt he was I think it's just because Goku was like getting through the tower really well, and I was like,
Yeah.
at least in the tournament, it felt like there were some more. You weren't quite sure what was going to happen, and
Yeah.
it felt like, well, of course, in this, it felt like, of course, Goku is going to defeat the people in the tower and like rescue the chief. Like,
Yeah.
I would have been really surprised if it didn't happen. Speaking of that, I totally thought that when he's like eating the remote control bomb thing and they cut to the mall, I was 100% expecting them to linger and linger and linger and then blow them all up. I totally thought that's where it was going, but no,
No. No, 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 no.
no, 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 no.
No, 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 no. You crazy, you crazy. You like how I think last time we were talking about like, oh yeah, so the Nimbus is gone. They got blown up.
Mm.
And then these village elders are like, oh, well, did you try calling it? Like, no. Like, oh yeah, just call it. You can't destroy Nimbus. It'll always come back.
Yeah, and then it's like, no.
Ricola. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
the
and maybe the thing I thought about was Captain Caveman when he gets like the club. It's just him like Captain K. It's what yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Oh, we used to see Nimbuses all the
Oh yeah.
time.
But since nobody's nice anymore, they all went away. So that's just the thing in human history that like everybody used to ride Nimbus clouds, but now like everybody is not pure of heart anymore. So like they don't exist.
They're like, can't anymore.
Speaking of it doesn't exist anymore, isn't it funny how like they went into Capsule Corp and she's like, "Oh yeah, my dad collects animals and dinosaurs. It's a normal thing. Like, don't even worry about it."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I got Goku being not confused by it at all, but the cop was like, what? Oh,
Oh,
okay. Like,
there's a lot of animals in here, don't you know? Yeah.
yeah, that was
Oh
pretty funny.
man. Yeah, so it's funny. It's cool seeing Capsule Corp like and knowing that like yeah, it's a pretty main like
Yeah.
area moving forward, you know.
Well, like I didn't even know that Bulma's name was Brief. Like I didn't know her name was
Yeah.
Bulma Brief.
Bulma briefs, yeah. Yeah, it was funny is that she was in school and I was like, I thought she was older than
Oh
that.
man, that threw me so off. He's like, "Oh, she's still in school," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Like assumed like she's in college or whatever, but like yeah, I don't know. It's
I
very funny.
guess,
Just
yeah,
immediately be like, oh yeah, she's in school. It's like, and Goku's
yeah.
like
I
supposed
was
to be
like, "What?"
12.
Yeah,
They said he's like 12 or 13. Yeah, I think it was 12.
12. Yeah,
I'm like, man, oh man. Yeah,
yeah.
well,
What's
you
so
know,
weird?
she's at that age.
Oh yeah, that was everybody's response for everything. No wonder why she
Yeah.
loses a gasket. I'd lose a gasket too every time you were like, "Leave me alone," and they're like, "Oh."
Hey,
She's
no,
just, you
no
know,
smooching, no smooching up here.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
What was there was a scene where I thought he, oh, that's right. Before they showed the village chief, I don't know why I thought it, and I'm sure it's not ever going to happen. I thought the village chief was going to end up being his grandpa.
Oh wow.
There was like a line or something that happened in one of the episodes, and I was like, like what exactly? I forgot what it was, or maybe the village chief said something, and I was like, "Oh, is he Goku's grandpa?" But then it just was like, "No, why would I think that?" But it's okay.
Yeah. You're never gonna see Goku's grandpa. Actually, you do, but yeah, it's all flashbacks and stuff, you know.
Sure, sure.
I like how Ader had the Dragon Ball the whole time that the Red Ribbon Army was searching for.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I found it in an ice cavern," and I overheard what they were going to do with it, so I was like, "No, I'll just keep this."
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah,
that's pretty much it. So like we kind of leave off where Goku and Bulma are headed out to look for the Dragon Balls once again.
yeah. It ended on kind of like a funny enough. It kind of really ended on like a good send off because when they got into the city, I was like, so we're gonna watch this, and then I'm gonna watch like 3 episodes of this, and then it's gonna be Husky Dragon Ball City nonsense, and I was like, I'm
Hmm.
not gonna be able. So we're gonna end it in, like we're gonna end a story and then stop in the middle of another story. And I was like, that's a weird way to cut up these sagas, and then it ended the way it did. And I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
trust the Dragon Ball.
trust the balls. Yeah, you know what's funny too is we're also getting to the point too where like I have not watched a lot of these episodes in a long time. So like
Good,
I am also
good.
being surprised by things.
That's what I want. I want you to be so surprised.
So surprised. So very much surprised. Yeah. Yeah. I know because it's like in my head I just want to get to like the King Piccolo saga, but that's ways away.
Gotcha.
That's another year and a half, buddy.
It probably honestly is, isn't it?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. 9 months.
Mm-hmm. One,
So stay
two, three,
tuned.
four. Interesting.
Night.
Cool.
Yeah. So that'll be good. That'll be good. Yeah, so we're a year away from starting Dragon Ball Z.
Yay!
In one of these seasons, though, I think it's oh man. I think one of these main seasons, I think it's like the last season where Goku is not a kid anymore. He's like a young adult.
Oh,
Uh, and it kind of
interesting.
branches into like him being the same age in Dragon Ball Z. That's why everybody, because you know how everybody is like, oh well,
Got it.
Dragon Ball Z, Goku's an adult, but he's not like the first season. He's not like an adult yet. He's yeah.
Well, I mean,
So
right now, technically, in a technical sense, he should have been like 10 or 11 last,
mhm.
last go before the Dragon Ball. And now he's, 12, maybe going on 13. So it's like, just the way it is because that's how you can gauge how old he is by the Dragon Balls disappearing because it's a year. So
Yeah, it's true. They play around with timelines a lot too. Like they literally will just like you watch an episode where it's like, oh, okay, so like this was our wish, and then
gotcha.
like the next episode will be like, And then a year went by, and then they wished this.
Oh gosh. Oh wow.
Everything was quiet, and they collected the balls once more, and they wished for this. So you're like, okay, so there's
Wow,
another
wow.
year because nothing happens.
Wow.
So next time we will be starting season 4, Saga 4,
Yeah.
Commander Red. No, sorry,
No, General Blue.
season 4. Yes, General Blue Saga. From what I remember, he's very sad all the time. That's not even funny.
So I think looking at it, right, we'd probably watch From Bulma's Bad Day to Beware of Robots.
Yes, 46 to 51.
Nice. Nice.
Yep. I think those
That'll
are
be
some
in
good episodes.
that'll be in December, and then
Oh, it's just...
oh, sorry.
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's crazy that we're, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
we
I didn't
talked
even
about
think
in the
about it
other
till
thing.
like I just talked about it, like just thinking about it. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, because it's funny how it's like the weeks are gauged by the Star Trek content, and the months are gauged by the Dragon Ball content. Because, like you said when we first started, like this feels like we just did this.
I know.
It feels like we did it like maybe 2 weeks ago, like maybe.
Yeah, to the
And
point where you literally texted me the other day and you're like, hey, so Saturday we're good for Dragon Ball. And I was like, oh, I haven't even watched it. I haven't watched anything.
yeah, I have it in my phone. I try to watch it. I try to like. So perfect example. We have like 6 episodes to watch. So what I'll do is do like 6 days before we go to record. I'll watch an episode a
Mm,
day to keep me one like I don't forget, and then also like if something ends up happening, like I can move it around and maybe watch two on a day or something like
mm.
that. I mean, they're super short; they're like 20 minutes, but sometimes stuff just happens. You're like, I don't got 20 minutes, you know.
I like to
So
watch all 6 Friday night.
you're like, okay, here we
Gotta catch 'em all.
go.
I know that. Okay, so now
I'm ready.
everybody's favorite time. It's my favorite time. I don't know if I'm gonna change any of these.
Yes, I am looking for the Dragon
What was
Ball.
your favorite? If you had a favorite,
Oh no.
uh, all right. So for the one stuff, see, this is fun too because this makes I have to edit a lot more into this video.
Yeah, and you really like it too.
I just love it. It's one of my favorite things. All right. So for the 1-star Dragon Ball,
Yes.
who is the most forgettable character of the season?
Ooh. Ooh. The most forgettable character of the season, of this saga, of the whole saga, the whole saga, the whole
Whole
saga.
saga. Yeah.
Colonel Silver definitely takes it. He's super forgettable. He's like not in a way because like he's super aggressive and awful, but
Yeah, it's
it's
funny.
just
So
like
he's literally only in the first 6 episodes.
right.
And he's like you said, like he's designed to be this, like this guy is crazy. He's shooting shopkeepers and he's gonna be
Right.
bad. And he's like, all right, Goku, let's do this. And Goku like just kicks him in the stomach, like, and he's done. Done.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So you're giving the award for most forgettable to Colonel Silver.
Gone.
Wow. Well, that's what he deserves for wearing a little red ascot all the time, too.
Yeah. Plus he's a
Okay.
murderer.
Well, that's true. Who was your favorite character from the saga?
Ooh. I like Android number 8 a lot. And hmm, it's between him and Goku. I know Goku's kind of like
Mm,
an easy throwaway thing, but because Goku's
yeah,
always like kind of the best character. But I think
that's
if not
never
picking Goku, I
that's
think it would be the android.
yeah. I like that. I think that's cool. I mean, it's honestly probably Snow,
Yeah,
and like Goku would have been frozen to death if she didn't drag him back to her house. But
true.
whatever, pick a robot. I don't care.
Well, but the robot destroys Muscle Tower, and that was
uh,
really
that's true.
the problem.
Yeah, that is just true. And he holds the Dragon Ball in hiding so that the Red Ribbon Army doesn't destroy everybody in the village.
Yeah, and his heart bomb ends up being the thing that kills Murasaki. So,
The last of the Murasakis.
and he's going to make great friends with the village chief there. So I think it's because
Oh,
he's
you,
like,
you
you can
come
live with
you
me now.
can you
Yeah.
come into my house. Oh no. Oh no, you can stay here with your friends for one more time, but I want you at my house in the morning. And you come to my house in the morning.
Not a minute later.
Along the same lines here, let's do the 3-star Dragon Ball is MVP.
See, that's different. You said one of
Yeah,
my favorite
see.
characters. So, the MVP is different.
I know I got a little confused. I'm sorry.
So
I was arguing for the MVP.
you
Yeah, I
were.
was, yeah. I got ahead of myself.
Now, see, Snow could be the thing. Snow could be. She tells him about the village chief, which he's in Muscle Tower.
Mm-hmm.
She saves Goku. Mm-hmm. She
Mm-hmm.
knows that she has good reputation with Dr. Flap, who saves the. So it's no. It's not.
Yeah. And
It's
she reunites that little mouse thing with its
oh
family.
yeah.
How could you forget what's up with that,
Or
right?
is it like
That
this?
was
I don't
like
know.
it's a mouse, but it's got to be weird because it's Dragon Ball. Like, okay, great.
I know, like, again, I know I'm asking too much from a Saturday morning Japanese cartoon series, but I thought it was really funny that Goku is a stranger. He's a strange little boy that they found out in the wilderness. And android number 8 was a part of Muscle Tower, and he's a giant hulking menace looking thing, right? And they're like, yeah, you can totally sleep in our daughter's bedroom. And I was like, oh, like, I think you can sleep out here on the couch and it'll be fine.
Well, the point is that they're both like innocent, you know, they're
No,
both
I totally get it. No.
oh, that's really funny.
Yeah, so Suno or Snow or Snow
Suno.
or Suno or Snow.
Suno, 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 Suno.
That's my MVP choice.
Good answer. Okay, so number 4 is what's the best fight sequence?
Ooh. I like the major Trillian
Metallitron.
Metallatron, whatever. I like that.
Metal man Metallitron.
Maltron. Um, but I'm gonna have to give it to the Bouillon thing because I liked
Mm.
that it was different. It was more different than all of his other ones. I like the Murasaki stuff. I like the General White, like him getting shot, and like and I liked him doing the what's the move called where he can like
Oh,
he like phases and like you don't like they get confused
uh, after image.
after image. I like that against the Murasakis, like using that against them. But I think ultimately, I remember when the Bouillon thing gets frozen and it shatters. I was like, all right. I was like, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy that. I really enjoyed like that whole sequence of like him eating
Yeah.
Goku and Goku like opening his mouth and the whole
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
freezing him to death. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it because it's actually Goku like having to think outside of the box instead of just like
Yeah.
punching something harder.
Yeah.
Did you
Run
try
faster,
punching it
Barry.
harder? Did you try punching and kicking?
Yeah. Well, if you punched and kicked as hard as you can and it didn't go down, we're all dead. Okay.
Okay, so number 5 is what's your most hated character?
Oof.
You already said Silver. Ooh,
See, to me, I didn't hate Hasky. She felt very useless. So
yeah.
but I didn't hate her.
Yeah, hate's a pretty strong word. I would say from now on, let's say like
hmm, just more like just
least
an
favorite or useless character maybe is a good
yeah, like least favorite is good. No, least favorite is a good way to say
useless, absolutely useless.
it. um, I kind of didn't like Dr. Flap,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
kind of right.
I think it's him because like they introduce him, he's a jerk, except to Suno or Snow,
Yeah, which is already kind of
and
weird.
which is weird. It was very weird.
Oh, he only
It's
likes little
like
goose. He's only a
he's
nice
like,
little goose. Like,
yeah, hmm.
that's weird.
Like he's also like Austrian or German or something. So they're making like weird comments, and I was like, okay. And then he's just like,
Hmm.
then to come find out, it's like, well, he made the thing for Muscle Tower, so he's kind of awful. I just was like, yeah, I don't think I think he's I don't think I like Dr.
It's
Flappy.
funny. It's funny that you have all these people in the village that are like, "Oh, we tried to refuse, but they forced us." And General Flap is like, "I built a robot, and then I said I'm done," and they're just like, "Okay,
All
that's
right,
fine." Like,
yeah,
how did he get out of the game, man? How did he get out?
because he's not. That's the whole point.
Yeah, he's not.
Because he was gonna remember when he confronts him in the bedroom. Murasaki confronts him. He's not like, I told you I left. He's like, just tell me what you want me to do and I'll get it done. And then Snow just ends up like coming in at the wrong time, and then
Hmm.
Ader does hears it and ruins everything. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
up until
meanwhile,
that point, like Dr. Flap was totally going to be a villain, be a bad guy.
mhm. Yeah, like, and for what too? Like,
Right.
Murasaki's the only person left. Like,
Right. And also like it was like they were holding his daughter or his wife or a friend or granddaughter, or I don't know, whatever. It's like he just was like, yeah, whatever. You live out in the middle of nowhere, but you're happy to do whatever the Red Ribbon wants you to do. Like, oh, okay.
yeah, loser.
He's poo
That's
poo.
good. That's a good pick. Yeah, that's a good pick. Okay, so what was your one of your favorite like funniest line or scene?
Mm.
These are hard because like while watching the episode, you're always like, "Oh man, that's really funny," and then like when you get to this, you're like,
Yeah.
"I don't remember
I
the context of
I
why
think
that was
like
funny."
you, I think I just like write it down or like think about it while I'm watching the episode. One of the funniest things, um, hmm, I'm blanking on so many of them, and I knew I laughed a
Hmm.
couple times, and I'm totally blanking on them.
I know. That's how I feel too.
Hmm. Oh, you know what made me laugh? I know a good. I don't know if it's a good one, but it made me laugh, and I remember was on their way to Doctor Flap. One of the I think the original
Mhm.
Murasaki guy is like following them,
Yeah.
and he pees on the tree, and then it's like on his little pants, right? But the part that made me laugh was he's underneath the ice. He falls in and then he's underneath, and he's just like, "Oh, just gonna hold my breath." And he's like, and they're like, I thought I heard something." And he's just like, "Oh, any minute now, any minute, he'll leave, he'll leave." And then they're like, I'm not really sure if there's somebody there. And he's like, "Please, I can't hold my breath any longer." And then they keep cutting back, and they're like, "I thought I heard something." And he's just like, "Go, leave." That part made me laugh a lot. When he's, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because it's like that slow, it's like that slow reveal of him being like, I am totally in control.
yeah.
And then immediately be like, I can't find it. What the hell, my breath? And then he can't find like the
He can't
hole.
find the hole, and he's like
Oh.
headbutting the ice to get out. Yeah,
Well, to
that
go
part.
along with that whole like blanket thing, his disguise
Oh
was like
yeah.
when he first shows that and he's it's the flag. It's like the American
Oh
flag.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which had to have been.
Yeah.
It had to have been English. It had to have been the Japanese flag, right? It had to have been, and
Yeah,
then
you would think so.
they would have gone and redone
It
it
wasn't
for
even
the.
like the up to date flag either. It was almost like the old, like the stars were like in the circular pattern.
Oh yeah, maybe I didn't. I don't remember, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then yeah. But then he turns it around and it's like the bark is not even the same. Like, it doesn't even look like the same wood.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty funny. The cop said a couple funny lines that made me laugh. I just can't
he
remember
sh-
what they were.
he did. Yeah, he was like, "Oh
Oh,
no, I'm not leaving because you could be a creep or
oh,
something, right?" Like,
I
I'm
don't
not.
take bribes.
Yeah, yeah,
And then he fixes up his motorcycle and just like immediately peels out and crashes
yeah.
into all those people in traffic. That was pretty good too.
Bulma's mom
Oh,
made me laugh too, and she's like, "Oh, honey, why are you underneath my feet?" She's like, "You stepped on me. You came in here. You stepped on me." And she's like, "Oh, I don't know why you're being like this." That part made me laugh too.
oh
Yeah,
man, yeah, Bulma's mom was pretty good.
I definitely think though it's the him under the ice, like you said, that cut of him being like, "I have all of the patience and time in the world," and then it cuts back and he's just like, "Oh, I can't hold it for much longer." Because I just you didn't I for me personally I didn't expect them to just keep looking and looking and looking and looking. And you're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, because it kind of felt realistic. Like if you heard like the ice break or something behind you, you wouldn't, especially if you were getting attacked constantly, you wouldn't just be like, well, that was weird, keep moving. You'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, what's back there?
Yeah, he's like, I thought I heard a splash. So I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't hear nothing. Like,
yeah, I liked it.
oh man, that's pretty funny. Okay, so for the 7-star Dragon Ball, what was your favorite episode of the saga?
Ooh. Um, Honestly, even though it's kind of like not really the theme of the entire this stretch of the saga. I really liked the trip to the city. I liked him the first
Hmm.
episode of him getting to the city and like just him being thrown like out of his element and like I think is that the that's the episode with like the kickboxer guy
Hmm.
and like the taxi cab driver and the lady with the baby stroller and all that
Yep.
stuff. And like I think is that the episode too where he beats up the guard and the hog guy? They try to take his money because he wins the.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So like all I really honestly I really liked I like him going up to the cop and like he shows him the picture of like the other lady named Bulma. He's like,
That's
that's
not
not
her.
Bulma.
I'm not actually
Yeah,
supposed to be showing you any of this stuff. This is all classified.
yeah, yeah.
What a
That
what a crazy device for a police officer to have where you
yeah. He was
just
just
type
like
in your name.
yeah.
Boom. Okay, here's all 5 Bulmas.
I think that would probably be it. It would either be that or the bullion episode. It's between those two.
Hmm.
But I think yeah, I think I just enjoyed the city one more just because it felt like a change of pace. It finally felt
Yeah.
like the show was like kind of dramatically different than him just attacking and fighting guys like in these rural tribal village areas. Now
Yeah.
it's like he's in a city and he it's like you see in the movies and stuff. It's like those Jackie Chan movies where he's an amazing martial artist, like detective cop guy, and then he comes to America and it's like they think he's some
Mhm.
bumbling idiot, and then he's like, oh, boom, 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 you know, all that stuff. So it's like I like all that. I like all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
that's true. You know, what's funny too is it's funny that it feels different like for the series so far, but it's also kind of like a like back to the beginning type of thing where it's like
Mm,
Goku being the fish out of the water again.
that's my dinner.
Because that's how the
Yeah,
series starts is like Goku's like he's never experienced anything other than living in that shack with his grandpa in the woods. He's
yeah,
never seen
yeah.
people. So now it's like he's done out and explored stuff, but now he goes to the city to find Bulma, and it's like all this crazy stuff he's never seen.
That's a really good point because it did. I didn't think about it. It does harken back to him not understanding what the house is and what the motorcycle is and what the airplane is, like
Yep, the
all that
bird.
stuff. The bird, yeah, yeah, that's
And
true. I didn't think about that.
does it also seem kind of too like he's starting to understand like the difference between like men and women a little bit?
Kind of. He does.
Because
Doesn't he
they,
say something in this stretch where he says something like, "I don't know." He's like, "Oh, oh." He says, "Oh, so you're an android and I'm a human." He goes,
yeah,
"Okay, that sounds good." He's like, "I don't know what that means, and I couldn't tell the difference, but all right." Like,
that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
yeah, I couldn't tell
Well,
the
because
difference.
oh
Yeah.
my god, thank you so much. Because when they go to the amusement park and they see that giant statue, he's like, "Oh, look at that beautiful lady." Bum's like,
Yeah,
"That's a
yeah,
statue," and he's like, "I knew that." It's like I was more
yeah.
impressed. Like, wow, he could tell that was like a woman statue. That's pretty good.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. I think also by him tickling Husky, he kind of knew, right? Like it
Yeah,
wasn't a guy, you gotta tickle
Gucci
her. Don't
goo.
You can't punch her. Can't punch a lady. You gotta tickle her.
Yeah. Yeah, and he saves her too. He throws the pole at the wall, saves her
Yeah.
from falling.
I don't think they intended to do it, and I have to say it because now we're talking about that scene. I think the animators forgot to edit out her hands that are dropping the Dragon Balls. So it's
Mm.
supposed to show that the Dragon Balls are dropping, but they just keep her hands there. So
Oh,
like her hands and the Dragon Balls drop. And I was like, I
that's
don't
funny.
think that's what's because the background is like changing, you know. So
Speaking of that was a pretty funny that's a scene that made me laugh. Like going back to that was when he uses the power pole against Murasachi there and he gets it like stuck. And he's like, "Oh, you have
yes,
a tail. Now you have a tail too."
yes, 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 yes. He that was I was like, wow. I didn't expect him to do that at all.
Yeah, it's a little
Ah, no, no, no.
hey, ooh.
Yeah.
And he just walks over and just goes,
Oh, yeah.
oh man. Stupid, stupid. Okay, so now so now you've gathered all 7 balls. So what is your wish for the next saga?
I wish for the most comfortable under no so I think I think the thing that I wish and I wished for a opponent that would be could rival Goku.
Hmm.
I think that was my last wish. So I think this wish, I won't ask for the same thing. I think what I want to see, I would personally, and I know I'm probably too early in the general like series. I think I would like to see Krillin and him and Goku do adventures.
Hmm.
Like imagine this like going to Muscle Tower or going to the city and it's the two of them. I'd like to see them two
Yeah.
bounce off of each other where like Goku says things and then Krillin's like, "That's not that" type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah, that would be
I
super fun.
yeah, I think that's what I would like to.
Yeah, I
That's
agree with
my
that.
wish.
I honestly don't know. I don't know enough to say yes or no to that. But
Well, I feel like with the
I think
show's intro and everything,
once
I
he
feel like it's going to
finds,
be yeah.
yeah. No, I was just thinking like once he finds his grandpa's Dragon Ball, like I think that's kind of the end of his like adventuring for him.
Gotcha.
You know,
Makes sense.
like that's all he
I
cares
want
about.
my grandpa back. Yeah.
Then he just has to defend against it the whole rest of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I'd like to see more rather than just being tournament buddies and like training buddies. I'd like to see Krillin and him be like adventure buddies.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
'Cause
Me too.
I feel like even though Krillin is not a dumb little kid, I feel like that it's a good mix of Goku being like, "Look at that beautiful lady," and then Krillin being, I would, Krillin be like, "It's a statue," and then Goku be
It's
like,
a
"I
statue,
know,
you
I."
idiot.
Yeah,
Oh, brother. You know what's funny too is that like I don't think like later on in Dragon Ball Z, like when you get to like the Android saga, I don't think he ever makes any like reference to like, oh, I remember the androids from when I was a kid or any of that stuff. I think it's just
oh,
kind of
that would
like,
suck. I really hope that's not the case. Oh man,
I don't think so.
because he's a cool character. He's a cool character, and I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
potential there. I mean, honestly, wouldn't you have liked him to have been part of the team, like rather than just stay with the village chief and like back in whatever area?
Um, yes and no. I really enjoy like Goku like saving these people and then just letting them kind of have their own
Gotcha.
like life. You know, he like basically like comes and he helps everybody and then he's like, okay, well, I hope everything goes great for you guys. See you later. And he leaves.
Yeah.
I like that. That's more of like the hero
Okay.
aspect of it, you know.
That's fair. That's fair.
I like seeing, you know, because that's kind of a common thing. Like you see people who are like enemies or like against Goku kind of become buddies with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a running theme, you know.
Oh,
I like
totally.
that.
I mean, Oolong and
Yeah, Yamcha was a desert bandit and
yeah.
yeah, I like that. I like that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. So
I
that's
gotta.
just that's it's a weird thing. I was reminded of that like I was like, man, I don't remember him like having so much to do with androids as a kid and then like later in his adult had to like fight the again
Yeah.
like the red ribbon making androids and he was just like all right, like there was no like mention of like,
Hmm.
oh, red ribbon's still making androids, huh? I was like
Hmm.
none of that stuff. So yeah,
It'd be really funny if come to find out there's like one episode that you're just not remembering. They say it all.
probably.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, probably.
the other thing too, I was gonna say, and I think the only reason I bring it up is because it did not age well in like the 2023
Oh really?
atmosphere.
Yeah, a lot of
Oh,
this doesn't.
surprise! Is
What?
just more so it was Oolong like, oh, don't forget about being, with Bulma. Let her, like, if you love something, let her go. And he's like, yeah, I've heard that, blah blah. And then Oolong's like, well, I shouldn't talk. He says, because all the ladies I loved, I kidnapped, and they're all like, ah. And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
that's
I don't, I don't know if you laugh at that. I don't know if we laugh at that.
well, Yamcha like kind of laughed, but then like also didn't really, you know.
Yeah,
That is funny. That's one of those things that's like, hey, why don't we just maybe forget that's how we met Oolong? You know, it was like
right,
here we
exactly.
are so far now. We're like, you like Oolong, and he's like, hey, you remember when I used to kidnap? I was like, don't bring it up, Oolong.
Yeah, like nix that conversation.
Nobody wants to talk about that, Oolong.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Will you please check in this episode?